You have to work very hard and take care of your 6 younger ones, including I and your father.
Glory was the firstborn of seven. Six younger siblings followed her like shadows. She was their son and they had no choice. From a very young age, she became a second parent without a ceremony. She learned to cook with one eye on the pot and other eye turned for trouble. The villagers loved her. They clapped for her when they want to celebrate something they don't plan to support. The market women praised her mother whenever they see her in the market. But here is what people didn't know. Glory carried so much burden. Her father, once strong, once loud, began to sit more than stand. His hands, which used to lift heavy load without complaint, started trembling around a cup of water. Hospital visits replaced market deals. Bills became a shadow that followed them everywhere. And Glory, still a teenager, became the pull holding the entire roof. There was no dramatic announcement when school ended for her, no big fights, no public tears. Just one day when she folded her uniform and tucked it away like a dream that had become too expensive. She was brilliant, but brilliance does not pay hospital bills. She loved school, but love does not buy medicine. Her siblings still had to eat. Her parents still had to breathe. So Glory made the sacrifice the world called strength. As the year passed, the burden didn't reduce, it grew. Her siblings grew older and their need grew with them. One night, Glory sat outside their house and stared at the sky until it blurred. Her mind did a quiet calculation that made her chest ache. So at 19, Glory made the kind of decision people praise from a distance but don't understand up close. She left for Lagos. Glory worked morning and night. She cleaned houses that smelled like perfume and wealth. She cooked meals for people who didn't know her name. She hugged ghosts under the sun. She endured insults she couldn't afford to answer. Every naira she made had a destination that was never her own. Hospital bills, drugs at home, food at home, school need for her siblings. If she bought herself a small treat, guilt would bite her until she regretted. She lived on survival, not pleasure. She slept with her phone pressed to her chest because phone calls rule her world. A missed call could mean a crisis. Glory was tired in a way that didn't show on the face immediately, but it lived in her bones. Tired like a candle that still burns but knows it's finishing. That was how Esther found her. Esther came into her life like a different universe. Young, loud, beautiful, in that effortless way that looks like freedom. Esther dressed like life had never asked her to sacrifice anything. You are too serious, Esther teased one evening. She caught Glory staring into a space like she was watching her life from outside her body. Glory tried to smile. Esther kept talking about connections, about people who help girls like her, about men with money who support struggling girls. Because her mother needed another test, because her siblings were calling, asking questions they didn't understand, and she couldn't bear to tell them, I have nothing. Glory didn't like the sound of it. Something inside of her warned her to stay away. Esther introduced her to him. He was old enough to be her father. Soft-spoken, neatly dressed, always smiling like he already knew how the story will end. He spoke like a man who never rushed because life had never forced him to. He asked about her family with the calm of someone studying a weakness. He nodded at the right moment. I admire you, and every compliment landed on Glory exhaustion like a trap disguised as kindness. The first money he sent made Glory cry in the bathroom, quietly, not because she was happy, because relief can feel like shame when you've suffered too long. The second money came with expectations, nothing loud at first, calls at odd hours, comment that made her stomach tighten. The way his help started sounding like ownership. Then one night, he asked her to come. Glory went because her father's medication was running out, because her mother needed another test, because her siblings were calling, asking questions they didn't understand, with her heart beating too fast. And somewhere between his calm smile and his closed door, Glory realized something too late. Help was never free. What he wanted from her was not gratitude, it was control. That night, Glory begged, not for money, not for another transfer, not for support. She begged to be allowed to leave. She begged for her safety. She begged for her life in a way people beg when they feel trapped in a situation they never truly agree to. When desperation has been used as a key against them. When Glory finally stumbled back into her own small room, she cried. And Glory, because she was Glory, stood up and returned to survival like nothing happened. She didn't tell Esther the full truth. She didn't tell her parents anything. She couldn't. How do you explain that you were trying to save the family and almost lost yourself? So Glory swallowed it. Firstborn girls are trained to swallow pain until it becomes silent. But weeks later, her body began to betray her. At first, it was small. It was small fevers that came and went, weaknesses that refused to leave, a deep discomfort that made her walk slower. Then came signs she couldn't ignore. Private symptoms that frightened her and filled her with shame. She knew something was wrong. Still, she delayed going to the hospital. Hospital asked questions, test cost money, and worst of all, hospital confirmed truth. Glory kept working while her body weakened because she had been living under one rule since childhood. Eventually, she couldn't hide it anymore. She called home and said she was sick. Not details, just sick. She expected panic and concern, plus comfort, at least the kind of love she had earned through years of sacrifice. What she got was silence, then distance. Her siblings, now older, now stronger, now used to receiving, started pulling away like people do when someone's pain becomes inconvenient. Her siblings, now older, now stronger, now used to receiving, started pulling away like people do when someone's pain becomes inconvenient. Immediately they heard about her sickness and she couldn't send them money again. They began calling her names. Some spoke in cold, half sentences that sounded like judgment. She went to Lagos and changed. One of them said to another, forgetting Glory could hear the whispers through the phone. Glory sat on her bed and stared at the wall until her eyes burned. Her siblings abandoned her quietly, like people do when they are ashamed of a reminder.